Excuse me. Has anybody seen White Rabbit?
That was a joke about the world being flat, right? Was it?
Why does it seem like the further we go back in history, the more advanced we were? You're telling me people were so primitive they took a hammer and chisel and made this?
President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
When we were successful, we were them. We had a real chance at this new world order. How many vaccines have you had? Have you got a good winner?
Buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy, because Kansas is going bye-bye.
Welcome, fellow truthers and conspiracy junkies, to another episode of White Rabbit. I am your host, Catalyst Jones, and we have a new, not so new, familiar face, but gonna become a lot more familiar. So we have my boy, Jeremy, stepping in as co-pilot. So welcome aboard the White Rabbit fucking choo-choo train, spaceship, whatever the fuck you want to call it. We're going somewhere. How's it going?
I really appreciate being here. I'm super excited to step up and start doing this with you more often. And I hope people enjoy what I have to offer.
How's yeah, brother. And you might have your beautiful better half on every now and then with you as well. So Amber is in the building. What is up?
Aloha. My name is Amber. I'm happy to be here, learn something. I always do when I get to share time with you, Catalyst. Thank you for having us.
Of course, of course. And you guys might remember him from the hit show where he came on and said, hey, you know, Q and Trump is that thing that you've been worshiping. Yeah, you're fucking retarded. And then
no, I don't think I called you retarded. I don't think it's
and then I was trying to pull the knife out of my back and I look up at Sean and I'm like, Sean, pull the knife out, it hurts. And he goes, check this out, motherfucker, I told you. And then damn, with the fucking, I was just like, damn, you fucks. I hate everybody.
I'm sorry. I felt bad, honestly.
Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Patriot is in the building. What is up, brother?
What's going on, man? Thank you for having me back on. That's what's up.
It's long overdue, my friend. So we were talking before the show came on, and apparently, I mean, people have already done, what do you call it? Like emergency podcasts on it already to like be the first to report on it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
I guess it doesn't really matter who's the first, but so this just came in and I thought I'd play it.
This is BBC News from London. Buckingham Palace has announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Let the joyous news be spread, the wicked old witch at last is dead.
Yeah.
So
That's what's up.
I don't know if you guys could hear that, but apparently,
Oh, yeah, I did.
Apparently Queen Elizabeth is dead.
Yeah. She
So
kicked the bucket.
They had somebody interviewed to see what her thoughts were. And unfortunately, there was some music attached to it and I couldn't separate the two, but her interview was quite interesting. And I just wanted to play, it's like a minute and a half or something, but she makes some really interesting points and everybody should take her 100% seriously.
The Queen and Prince Philip are not human. I have been mocked, I've been laughed at, I've been attacked, I've been through every single thing you can imagine by trying to get this truth out there. I couldn't give a flying fuck what you react like. I am going to tell you the truth. They are reptilians. They shapeshift from human form into lizard form. I saw this with my own eyes many, many times. And trust me when I tell you, they are the most evil creatures that you could possibly imagine on this planet. When I was taken out for rituals in this place, these places, the Queen would come out last because she was the master of ceremonies. Just like she leads this country, and Prince Philip is always second, she would come out last. She was the master of ceremonies. And she would walk out.
Yeah, so that's all I got of that clip. So I was just some information that I was able to bring up on her that is 100% factual.
Shout out to David Icke, man. He does it
Yeah,
too.
I was thinking about David Icke. Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
that's exactly what I was thinking of.
He must just be, man, just going a million miles an hour in his head, just thinking what's gonna happen now and all that shit. He was deep in that, man.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll come out with anything about that.
Oh yeah. I can imagine that this is almost like a really a good opportunity for him to step up and step forward and kind of regain some of the footing that he's lost in recent years.
So New York Patriot, brother, what's been going on in the New York Patriot world? What have you guys been talking about over there? What's the new happenings with the show?
With the Occult Rejects, just recently we did we had a couple of guests on, which we have to do every once in a while, while we're researching on subjects that we're going to cover. But before that, we did cover recently the Fellowship of the Friends, which was like a cult in California that also makes wine and sells it to Google, and they also have a whole division there that's practically employed by all these cult members too. It's very weird, we thought that was fucking very interesting. And you don't hear much about it just until recently. It was in a couple of newspaper articles because the dude has a lawsuit against him because he got fired because he wasn't part of the cult. And the lawyer that he has already won a case saying from a woman that made an accusation saying that she did not get promoted because she was not in the cult. So if he won that first one already, that's proof. So this one I thought was all right, so there might actually be something here. And we started looking into it, and there was a lot of occultism being used to manipulate the cult members.
Dude,
it's like the guy basically take Gurdjieff's teachings and shit, who was not of being a scumbag, and figured out magic and basically just used it to manipulate people. Or the CIA was involved with something. Who the fuck knows? What
part of California was
this? Oregon House. Oregon House, California. Yeah.
Damn, I don't know where that is.
Yeah, it's fucking winery. They have a theater, an outside theater there. They're huge with arts. They have a lot of art shit done there. Famous people go there and play. They have an inside thing. It was actually pretty wild. And then when you get to their property, there's literally gates and fucking little things that go up and down.
It's not Mercy, California.
You have to call up and make an appointment if you want to show up.
Yeah, I'm
they got their own cult there.
What's the difference between these rituals and it's kind of subliminal in the factor that they do collide with larger conspiracies?
Yeah, we even found paperwork and shit that when we started looking into a lot of the music there, and even with the art director and stuff, they were talking about it was really weird. It was playing specific octaves for a certain amount of time, for a certain amount of days and months. And then once you've gotten there, we're gonna go to the next one. And I was
it's all part of NLP and shit, man. How we.
It's true.
I was yo, this is some crazy shit.
I'm into video, and you can see that they went from 24 frames a second to 30 frames per second when they went to digital. And then like also with sound, everything shifted from 432 to 440.
440, yeah.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be a much more militaristic kind of vibe that the 440 carries. And I got these theories about how increasing the frame rate of video that people watch.
All right. So coming back in, it was really bad on my end, and hopefully this doesn't continue to do this. Like I was saying, man, you troll on the sitting president's Twitter account one time, and then all of a sudden your internet goes to shit. So fuck. It's crazy because I was just on Third Eye with Ghost. I was on Tavern Talk the other night, and he was talking about how people's internet is starting to fuck up when you're recording shows, but it's fine the rest of the day. And that's exactly what the fuck is going on right now.
I had that this morning with StreamYard. Just out of nowhere, like rebooted. It's like all the screens went black and like had that little spinning thing for like a few seconds and then just went fine. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what in the fuck? So anyways, I was asking if you're 100% sure of the name, because where I'm from in Murphy's, California is a huge winery place, and people say that one of the owners of Google or founders of Google lives out there. And then they have like that outdoor venue.
Oh, what's the name of the wine?
It's a Couch Ironstone Vineyards. Has another name too. What is it?
I looked up.
Well, up again.
I looked up Oregon House. It's like a little northeast of Beale Air Force Base. But there's a lot of this guy Broll who gets like a penny for every Pepsi sold in the world.
This is insane. My internet is so fucked right now.
Yeah, I was saying that the Renaissance wine was the vineyard.
Okay.
Yeah, and when I was saying that it was probably shit wine, or maybe it's decent, but I'm sure when Google bought it, they probably paid way more than what the value of it was. I think they were probably getting over that way too. I'm sure. I just find it too much of a coincidence that you got like fucking 12 employees there and you're buying their wine.
Yeah, there's no coincidences.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about the Queen and all that shit happening today? And I thought we were
I actually wrote down some notes about that. Actually,
awesome. I'd love to hear what you have to say about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you know much about like the whole idea of like the Scarlet Whore, the Scarlet Witch, or like kind of like I guess like the feminine energy and stuff when it comes to magic? So I might have to like break that down a little bit just to make sense. You know what I'm saying, of some of it.
Yeah, would you please break that down a little bit?
Yeah. Now the Scarlet Witch or the Scarlet Whore, the Whore of Babylon, or like, you can take like Hecate would be, an example of one. Isis at one point, Hathor, certain goddesses take on this type of archetype or personality or role. And they're kind of, at some point, there is like one of them that's basically like the feminine energy that puts you into this world and into the flesh. It's actually what makes everything, the way it is, puts everything into form. It starts off as a thought, and then eventually down, the road down through the tree and the Kabbalah, you end up in physical matter. But all the times where things end up getting put into form, they're characterized and this and that, that's always the left pillar, which is just the feminine side, the negative pillar, the black pillar. And then the right side is the masculine, the projective, the white pillar. And then in the middle is just the middle pillar. The left side is the female, and the top of that starts with like the binosphere, and that's more of like ideas and thoughts. The idea of a table. You know, then you would go down to the next sphere, and that would be Gabora, and you've already gone through other stuff, but at that point now you were born into the flesh, and then eventually down at the bottom, sphere on the bottom, it's kind of like when it starts like splitting you off into sex, into like names and who you think you are and the titles that we give ourselves, all those other things that split us up and divide us even more, that we do to ourselves. That falls into that sphere. It's all things of forms and ideas, starting from a thought to, I'm so and so. I'm a carpenter, and I do this and do that. Those small little things that we judge ourselves by our job, our sex. All those things that really are kind of pointless.
Right.
That falls all from the top all the way down to the bottom. That is all the feminine stuff. A lot of the stuff on the masculine side and the male is all a lot of like expansive energy. That basically to me is the beast. You have the scarlet whore on one side and you have the beast on the other. And in the between, somewhere is there some balance and beauty. And that's when things are good. But to extremes, they suck. In my opinion, the last few years, now, if you think about some of the stuff that I just said, ideas, sexuality, race, color, all that stuff would fall on that side. We've seen a whole lot of that actually being used and manipulated onto the human race to just get fucking people triggered, going, riots, all that stuff. In my opinion, the last few years, we have seen the left pillar totally in control. A lot of symbolism with it, starting with people with ideas, infecting their mind with an idea. And then by the time it gets all the way down to the bottom, you got people worrying about 20 different identities of sexualism. You got all these other fucking things. So my opinion, the last few years, we have seen a lot of that happen. A lot of the left side. And the queen, in my opinion, could also represent like one of the higher, she'd be at the highest point on the tree, kind of. She'd be like the old hag. When there's Hecate and there's 3 different versions of her, she'd be like the old hag.
Now, there's a lot of people that feel like she is an actress or a part of a different bloodline that has been placed in.
She could be too. I mean, she could have been dead 20 years ago, for all I know. I mean, fucking knows. I'm just going by the whole symbolism and how this stuff looks like in a Kabbalah or magical archetypes.
Right. So with that being said,
still be alive.
Is there any reason why you think we're seeing this now?
Well, because that's what I was going to get into. I have been seeing, like, in my opinion, I have seen the last few years has been completely that side of the tree. And unless things got really fucking bad, which I don't think, I think it would have happened already. I think we would have actually had probably tanks and troops in the streets. To make things worse, we would just have to keep on encroaching on our own will. That would, the left pillar, if you got any worse, it's all that would do is just kind of just make shit even worse, thinking it's fixing it when it's not. It's just making it worse. Oh, I got to fix that. Making it worse, got to fix that. Like the movie Mother. If you ever seen the movie Mother with an exclamation point, had the chick from the Hunger Games in it. That was she's the total whole archetype of that whole idea with the Scarlet Whore. Every time something happened, she didn't like it. She tried to fix it and it got worse until it looked like there was World War III inside the fucking house. It all started going downhill when the frog jumped out of the fucking doorway downstairs. When the frog showed up inside the show and all hell went loose. All right. Not to shit on you, on Pepe now too, but he's not what everybody thinks he is either. So, and so neither it would get really worse, which I think would have happened already, or in my opinion, we're starting to back the other direction to the other side of the tree. Which now, in my opinion, you start getting to male stuff. Now with the female, a lot of the black, purple, red, and green. Now male, and you want to start getting into the beast, you'll see maybe a little bit of orange, blue, gold, or yellow. All right, we have a war going on in the country with the male colors, expansive, explosive energy. So I started thinking maybe we're going back to the beast. So I started thinking I honestly do think part of this is showing that possibly happening. One of the reasons why I thought that is on the day, today's date. If you add the 9 and the 8, 17 is when it comes down to magic that would have something to do with the beast. Unfortunately, I didn't get into that last time, but that is kind of like a number for the beast as well. So you would have 17 and then 6. 17 would be the beast, and then 6 would be the beauty and the balance that's in the middle of the tree, which would be, that's when you start to awaken the beast, actually, in my opinion. Believe it or not, in order to escape the matrix, you have to awaken the beast within oneself. It's just you have to keep it balanced with the feminine, or shit turns out like Hitler. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So where things can end up real nice, as long as you're balanced between your emotions and your mind, the both pillars, you'll be fine. But so it was the 9 and the 8, the 17, I kind of got that. And then the 6 would be like 17 for the beast, or even with tarot, that kind of goes with the tower, which is rising up. So in a sense, that would go with, the beast itself, because the beast is kind of like the Kundalini that rises up. So there was a 17, and then the 2022, there was a 6. There was 278 days. Sometimes you also eclipse. If I was to kind of do gematria, I would simplify that down to 17 again. Now it happened on a Thursday. Thursday is for Jupiter. Now on the tree of life, Saturn would be where Binah is. And that's where I kind of said that I thought she was at. And the next one going over to the male side is now going down the tree would be Chesed, which is blue. And that is on that's associated with Jupiter, which is a Thursday. That would associate with Thursday. That's male energy. So I thought, again, like what I was saying with me thinking the beast came back, was the male energy that knocked her off. Also, when she lit up that tree of life that I thought it was, that whole tree lighting thing that she did, where all this stuff came on the floor and then went up the tree, the sphere that she hit was blue also, which would go along with today, the sphere for today. Now, I also said that I thought she was associated with Binah. That would be the third sphere. She died 3 days before 9/11. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. It was just something that I noticed. Again, back to the beast stuff. Technically, in the year of China, we are in the year of the tiger. Now, I actually have a Def Leppard shirt on. You can't see it. It has an animal on it. I wore it for that specific reason, is it's the beast. That's what this whole shirt is. And that's what Def Leppard actually would be. It would be the beast. So I made sure I had this on for the show. So I think unless we saw something like really crazy happen with like another female showing up, and I try to tread lightly on this because I don't want people to take it the wrong way, but believe it or not, in my opinion, when skin color gets involved, that can also play a role in symbolism. You could have like a black woman, and that could just be like, we're using her because she totally is in the black left side, feminine, without any masculine mix at all. If you had a white female, that could almost be showing you a balance, but a little bit more feminine, but of the white pillar. I'm telling you, they do that shit. They'll play it off in movies at least. And since, this shit on TV is probably fucking reality TV anyway, why would they not do it on this? So, unless we saw, like, if somehow, I don't know, maybe Kamala Harris ends up as president in the next month. If that doesn't happen, I would assume, I think we're going in the other direction. Now, that could possibly be bringing us to some beauty and balance. Maybe we'll kind of get out of where we were and get back to where we should be. or we're just going to swing even farther that side because we've been pushed so far that way that it's just going to turn into shit in a different way for the next couple of years. Ukraine will probably get worse. Maybe we'll get involved, shit like that.
Where do you think?
Yeah. Trump comes back in and all shit breaks loose. Yeah. And not even from him, just from the fucking people, the way they react.
And then his policies and politics and stuff. It just it will only sow more division,
But yeah, that was kind of like my little quick.
I want to see it happen. That'll be very interesting. So, what do you think about Mercury in retrograde starting tomorrow? Does that have any effect on what we're seeing today?
Maybe closer that we're coming to the full moon on Saturday.
Yeah. That I was going to mention too. Yeah, we're going into a full moon. You're right. Yes, Amber. So sometimes that, like, honestly, if I was trying to, for me, when I did magic, if I was trying to remove something, banish something, or get rid of something, I would do it as the moon is getting darker. If I wanted to, bring something in, I'm going to try to get that motherfucker on a full moon or close to it. You know what I'm saying? Or if I catch it at the beginning of it, like the last, like when you get into 90%, you can kind of like, if you want to get, extra about it, you could do like rituals and shit, like at the beginning and then like right at the end again, right before it fucking turns into the full moon, to end it. So, I mean, there could even be something else.
There are a bunch of planets in retrograde right now, though.
And tell you the truth, when you mention Mercury in retrograde, that could be why the electronics are having problems.
It's coming up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would make sense too. I wonder if I have these things like on my laptop. I wonder if I should like remove some of them. Maybe it's interfering too much.
Gotta put them under the full moon.
No, it's just weird because we were just talking about this on another podcast about how everybody's internet has been fucking up lately. And then New York Patriot, I don't know if you've been on the Patriot Party podcast, but they were having really bad issues with their internet. They just had to change and go with fiber optics and shit. I've never had an issue here, and now tonight I'm having the first issue. Go figure.
Yeah, what's funny? I know a few people that have told me that when they switched over to 5G, everything actually got worse too.
Yeah, I don't know if we're on.
It's like, the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe it's that too. I mean, I've even seen it. Like when my father switched over to 5G, I've even like noticed a connection in his phone. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I thought your shit's supposed to be better.
Yeah. They're better at killing us.
Yeah, that's exactly
yes,
it.
You're crazy.
It's better for you.
Right.
So, was that fire that was up by your house? First off, what the fuck happened there with that? And is it all good now?
Well, okay, that's interesting you bring that up. I mean, the area kind of.
Right.
And there's like various places where there's like pretty well-known homeless encampments. And this recent fire that was right across the highway from us was supposedly started in the main encampment. But I mean, we've been noticing in the last year or so that a lot of the fires that have not gotten out of control too much have ended up being in these homeless encampments. And like, I don't know if you've heard about the local news lately here, Catalyst, but like there's this whole controversy of a homeless shelter and where it's going to go and how it's all going to work. And they're like building these little pallet tiny homes that can sleep like 2 to 4 people and stuff, and how many they're going to put up. And there's a lot of controversy around the homelessness issue in this county right now. And I think it's kind of,
they've been pushing them around, clearing out brush.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, it's fire danger.
and more people come up here too, because there is more space to be able to form encampments and not and be less visible. But at the same time, it's such a more conservative right-wing kind of area. They have so much less tolerance for not only homelessness but also mental health. So and I mean, anyone who knows anything about the real issue of homelessness knows that it doesn't have anything to do with having a job or having a home or anything. It has to do mostly with mental illness, post-traumatic stress disorders, and consequently substance abuse in order to deal and cope with a lot of the psychological trouble that people are facing, even just from the stress of being homeless alone. It is crazy.
I don't even have to stay in New York, believe it or not. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to automatically think that the homeless are like drug addicts, but my opinion, a big amount of them are actually people that need mental health.
Oh, definitely.
Like for sure.
Or maybe
Like-
they're smart as fuck and they're trying to get out of the matrix and they don't.
I thought that too. I've thought that too.
Yeah.
I think there's some people that are just like, yo, I'm just trying to live the least amount fucking.
Yeah, just get the fuck out. Like I've been playing with the idea lately of going full on Steve-O and getting a van or an RV and turning it into a mobile fucking podcast studio.
Fuck yeah.
And just
if I wasn't married, I would have done that already.
I think
I've
I'm
already
gonna
had
do
that
it, man, and just travel around and interview all the people instead of doing it like this on Zoom. I'll just be like, yo,
Yeah.
I'm coming out to the East Coast. Let's do this.
I've thought that, yeah. Just travel around with my mixer and my mic.
Yeah, and I'll have a bed in there. That's like all I need. I'll just wake up in a different cool place every day, and then have a conversation with somebody cool every day.
Yeah, I mean, if you could get people to, just like fund your gas money, you could literally get from place to place just off of podcasting.
Yeah, it would be awesome. It would be fun. I don't know. It's something.
I had thought of that even just in the fact of being able to drive around and like cover like even like places in the the United States, like even weird places, or like like I've had people that that listen to me that have told me like areas where they found petroglyphs. Like, if I had an RV, I probably would have fucking been there already. Would have met up with the dude and been like, yo, show me this shit. I would have covered that on my show. When you do shit like that too, you'd be surprised. I'm sure people would help fund the show to keep going because you're actually like doing on the ground shit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What substance did you say that people were finding?
I had one friend, shout out to Big Willie Mammoth. He was showing me places that I don't know if it was him that recorded it or if he was showing me videos of a place that he knew of that he's seen. It was like petroglyphs, or things like written in fucking caves and shit are up on the walls, old as fuck. I think over in like Utah or wherever they were selling it. And I was like, dude, that's fucking wild. Like, I would love to be able to go and just look at that and be like, wow, like I'm looking at something that was carved in a fucking wall. How long ago? This meant something to them. I would like to actually be there and just, I don't know.
Yeah, try to decipher what it was saying for yourself. That would be pretty.
Yeah, just even see if the area has a feeling about it,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot in the national parks over there, like in Utah and stuff. Like
there's a lot of people that go missing in national parks. Out of like no
What?
Yeah, what is that called?
Makes you wonder, like, why is that why they're national parks? Is there like some weird shit like in that area that they're like, we just have to keep humans away from it? Because a lot, I mean, even like stuff that David Pilotes has covered. It's a lot of people even say like people were legit there and gone.
Right.
People that had walkie-talkies, hunters, they had ways of communicating. Gone. Turned around, the dude's gone. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, you're talking about the missing 411.
You're like walking through a portal or some shit. You didn't even notice.
Well, there is talks about portals and shit like that going on in places like that. And our national parks are definitely, I feel like they're definitely protected for more reasons of just natural resources, as far as the animals and the ecosystems that go on there go way beyond our comprehension of what ecosystems really are taking place out there. And I think it's interesting that since CERN started up in early July, though we're seeing more and more accounts, at least people coming forward talking about cryptids and seeing more and more cryptids, and also we're seeing a lot of weird shit going on in the skies lately. Let's
Skinwalker Ranch.
yeah, let's get into some of that. Like, what's going on with the definitely you said portals, man. Are we entering times that there's some sort of battle going on beyond this human realm?
Ooh. I mean, we covered Skinwalker Ranch too. I don't know if I told you that. We actually did like a 5-part series on that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'd love to see.
Yeah.
Joel Thomas and Sean Chris, my old co-host, they just did with Tony Merkel a fucking documentary out there too. That's supposed to be coming out pretty soon.
Check out, not to push mine, but to check, really, if you seriously check out mine, just go to episode 3 and 4. I'll even be happy with that. So you can see the rest, because we do show, and I don't want to, like, when we get, because we're talking about UFOs and all that stuff and portals, I don't want to get too stuck on this, but there was a thing that me and Lux came across. A lot of the ex-owners of that ranch, the people who own it now, Junior Hicks, who is very huge at getting the whole idea of Skinwalker Ranch known to George Knapp. You have Junior Hicks. You have Junior Hicks's son is at Skinwalker Ranch. Couple of other people, political people that got ATIP started. People that have been on the show, all fucking Mormons, dude.
Interesting. These Hicks fellas.
Mormons are into some weird shit where it could be looked at as UFO stuff, or people coming from the sky saving us.
Yeah, weren't there?
So you have to wonder if the whole UFO or little green men in a ship is even fucking legit, or is that an excuse just for something else that we're seeing?
Well, I'll give you one better. I'll give you one better. I'll listen to every single episode because I'm super interested in it. What's the guy's name from Blink 182? Tom something? Tom DeLonge? Yeah, well, he was on Steve-O's Wild Ride podcast, and he was talking about the stuff that he's been able to be privy to and the stuff that they've known for a long time, and why they're allowing us to know about UFOs and saying that, yeah, we've been knowing about this shit basically. But I find it interesting that he isn't saying little green men from outer space. He is specifically saying interdimensional beings.
If you were to go look up, see, this is the thing that I don't get either. Like the guy who owns the ranch, like, it doesn't understand what the fuck's going on over there. First off, the guy's a billionaire. You could pay the fucking mail clerk fucking a couple extra bucks. Go online and research fucking the ATIP documents. I don't believe that you've never heard of the ATIP documents before you bought that property. That's bullshit. If you were to actually go and get them, which you can look them up from the fucking government, they've been, people have the file, whatever thing is, you can go get the shit. When you go look at what they're actually doing over there, which we covered in that series too, I'd say 5% is UFOs. Everything else is fucking insane shit. Altering DNA, fucking making paranormal effects a weapon, energy weapons, lasers. None of this shit over there looks anything of like positive for us. I hate to say it. Very little is actually studied on UFOs. There is something else going on over there, and that's why I was saying I think it's a portal. I think it's what I was getting at before with the whole left pillar and energy. I think you have something like that, and if you give it enough energy, you can start making shit manifest, or you can pull shit through. But if you were to go look up the ATIP documents, which you can go, or SAP, they call it ATIP, you go look at the shit that's on there that they say that they're researching and studying, you'll find hardly anything that actually has anything to do with UFOs. It's actually some freaky shit.
Can you think of any off top?
Yeah, well, I was legit about the whole thing with they're showing you, I don't know if it was called the CRISPR or something like that. They're legit showing you this thing that they have, that the way that they alter the DNA and the way that it's going to be done, it looks like a fucking beehive. The same logo that the fucking Mormons use, a beehive. It's fucking insane, but they're actually literally showing you like what the DNA structure would look like when it gets changed from these things.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. It's some pretty fucking scary shit, actually. If they're actually studying that, even if they don't know it yet and they're actually interested in studying that because of over there, That's some freaky shit if it's true.
They found out that DNA can store more data than anything else. They will be harvesting us as data banks. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Even Nassim Har.
I think that's a lot of what the fucking jab.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, well, it goes hand in hand with 2045.com when somebody just first turned that on to me recently, and I started looking into that, and holy crap, dude, the things that they're working hand in hand with already, like with the Neuralink, cloning, it's basically they're turning people into cyborgs, and they're like ready to rock and roll.
Oh, another one. I can't believe I forgot it. Graphene. That was another thing they're fucking with over there. If you were to go check the ATIP documents, you'll see graphene in them.
Yeah,
really? And that's...
yeah. And Bigelow, the guy who used to own the ranch prior to Brandon Fugel, he was friends with this guy that went to Rice College. I think he had him on his team or whatever, like researching shit. And Rice College is like huge with graphene shit too. You go on their website. That's one of the things that they're going to show you on their website is mentioning graphene somehow. Because like that's like big with them. That college. And it's just like, oh, what a fucking coincidence.
Will suffocate from them taking too much carbon out of the air to make graphene because the trees won't be able to produce enough oxygen for us before any kind of climate change kills us if they start getting their hands deep in this graphene shit too much.
Well, they'll blame that on climate change. We're losing oxygen.
It's not the graphene we're making. That's not why the trees are dying, right? We'll see.
Yeah.
I can't believe that they're actually trying to talk people into it's a good idea to freaking cover a cow's mouth and asses with these diapers, farting and burping, emitting more CO2 into the fuck. Are you give me a fucking break? These people think we are so stupid. And the funny thing is there are people so stupid too. It's impressive how stupid some of these people are. So what the fuck else is going on in the world, man? Like I've been trying to not pay as much attention as I said in the last episode with you to the politics, and I've been doing okay with that. However, you know, some of the shows that I get on are political driven, so I still have to know a little bit of what's going on. And I feel like the more that I've been divorcing and separating from it, the less anxiety that I have towards it. But I still feel like it's something very real that's going on that affects all of us. So it's really hard to divorce all the way from it. How do you feel about that? Because your name is New York Patriot. However, you can obviously see more than meets the eye.
Sure, that's hard. I think sometimes, and you know, it's not always a good thing. I think to a certain extent, you just have to learn how to disassociate yourself with shit that actually doesn't affect you. Maybe I've just been lucky. And even though I've been in New York, like, all right, I mean, I wasn't happy with like some of the mandates, but then like, it's like, all right, well, I just drive 20 minutes into Nassau and now I don't have to worry about those mandates. You know what I'm saying? So like, was I put into a convenience and inconvenience? Yeah. But, I mean, tell you the truth. Yeah. I mean, sometimes when it comes to the news and the media, sometimes I really only watch like my local news to see what's really going to impact me. But for the most part, and you know, maybe it's not good, but I mean, a lot of stuff that I think is on TV for the most part, I think is just not so much fake, but it's like being handed to us in one way, but we're interpreting it the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? So like for the most part, I don't even think, you know, I got to sit here and try to mindfuck what I think they're really trying to say because I don't believe it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't pay attention to a lot of stuff on the media, to tell you the truth. You know, like a lot of this stuff is because people send it to me and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Maybe I'll share it. You know, that's like, even if you look at like our own shows like, that I even do kind of like on my show, the Occult Rejects, we really never cover anything that's like mainstream really, or like, you know, a hot topic, you know?
Right. So us talking about the Queen tonight is about as hot of a topic as it gets.
This is probably the first time I've ever actually like within a few days covered something like that. Or very few, maybe a handful. So it was actually new for me, and I thought it was cool.
But it
because at least I was like, all right, Because I thought like the way I've been saying, and I've been saying that, I mean, the thing is she was so old. Anybody could say she was going to die soon. But I've been saying it. I said, I do think that she's going to die soon. And I have said that I do think we might be going back, like the pendulum swinging back the other way, which knocking her off, in my opinion, would be representing that in a sense.
Unless they knock Biden off and put Kamala in, I think we're definitely going to see it swing.
No, yeah, then it's still swinging to the left at that happens. Fuck.
Yeah. It's going to either swing that way or just swing the other way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't be any better if they just put
I
her
haven't
back in. Or not back in, but if they just put her back, or if they put her in, it's not going to be any better for anybody because she's just as manipulated by strings on a puppet as anyone else. Man.
What's happened during the election?
You all right?
And we're back.
You still there? All right. And you're back. There you are. That's great. I'm live. This has been live the whole time.
Well, I stopped recording. It's fucked right now. People are gonna be like, "What the fuck happened?" Well, here, listen to it. I guess whatever. Fuck.
Well, the weird thing is on my end, everything sounds fine. You just yes. So all of a sudden, you just disappear for a little bit and go back.
Well, hopefully, when
it's so weird.
It'll be okay.
You're in a pretty busy area too, though, right, Alice?
Yeah, I mean,
good, like getting into that prime time of the day.
Yeah,
internet
plus everybody
usage prime time.
I've also. And where are you from again? Where you guys are all you're all in the United States though, right?
Yeah, we're in Cali.
Yeah.
We're in Northern California. Okay. We're just east of Catalyst a bit.
No, yeah, because I know that sometimes if I have like I have Leon, he's in the United Kingdom, and then I got Teresa in Canada. Sometimes that does actually get kind of shitty. Supposedly, right? I've heard about that.
That shit's nuts. I mean, I've heard from some pretty reliable sources, people that have like really no reason to bullshit, in the senses that it came out of the context. But that shit's, you can just look it up and shit. Like that blew my mind.
Wait, real or not real? Are sharks really attacking it? I've seen it, but I'm not sure it's real.
They supposedly like have this whole restoration plan where they're like they replace sections of it so often.
Yo, you good, Catalyst?
Yo, shit is so fucked up on my end.
So funny, you're like froze.
Yeah, like you were like,
I was like, yo, did he have a stroke?
Yeah,
it's definitely funny.
Oh shit!
Oh, look, he's fucking stuck again.
You fuck around with crypto at all?
No, I don't know.
Nice.
No, actually, that I'm a little nervous about.
No,
that
we should. Blockchain's a dangerous thing.
I mean, not that our tangible money is probably worth much of anything anyway, but
right.
It's just like, I don't know. That's just weird to me. I can't get into that stuff.
I got buddies that bought into it when it was real low, and man.
Oh, they probably made a good amount of money.
They're doing good. Stuff online, legal stuff from people I know, not from people I don't know. So I had no use for it for a long time.
Yeah, it's like I thought you just needed that for Silk Road.
Right. That's straight up. That's what I was like. I don't use Silk Road. I don't need this shit. Now they've got like thousands more dollars than they put into it to begin with. I'm like,
Yeah, but what happens when they decide
Carlos, what
to
do you think
shut off the internet?
Crypto. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm
then you're
getting
back
at.
to zero.
Yeah, I don't trust it. Anything tangible, I'm with it. If I can hold it,
Yeah,
and
don't
it has
gamble more
value
than you can afford to lose, right?
Yeah, well, I messed with crypto a little bit. I probably have some, but
I used it once to get a Gab account. I paid for like the year, and like so we had like Gab video, whatever. It was fucking waste of money. The only time I ever used Bitcoin is because that was the only way I could pay that when I was like, fuck. And then I was like, yo, you know what I thought was funny? Because like you even mentioned, normally you buy illegal shit with it, right? That's what I was thinking. And I was like, yo, it took like a week for the money to clear. If I wanted that shit for drugs, I wouldn't even fucking want it anymore. I gotta fucking wait a week. I want to buy a fucking that sounds good. Let me load the money now, and then maybe next week I want that fucking kilo still. Like what the fuck?
I know people.
I was just like, this is like so inconvenient for me. It's like I have to already like have it in my mind. Yeah, I want to buy this next week. I'll load the money in. Like you can't do anything spur of the moment unless there's money already in there. You know, it's like I was like,
and you still gotta wait for the shipment. Like even if you can buy it right away. But hey,
I gotta wait on the mail. Yeah, the mail's bad enough, and I gotta wait for the ship to clear.
That's how it works in the Midwest. They're like planning parties months out in advance and having to place all their orders on the Silk Road to get their goodies.
I don't know shit about it. Honestly.
Yeah, no, neither do I. But I've never really been too interested in I just didn't trust it. Just didn't make sense to me.
I've listened to a bunch of different podcasts about it, and I know some people that are super into it. And
for sure.
I hope it works out for them. But I mean, I just don't understand it enough. And plus, I just feel like everything that they're pushing us is towards something digital. So I feel like even the people that feel like they're being rebellious and going against the grain, they're doing exactly what they want you to do by doing it.
Oh yeah.
Just imagine if the central banking institutes get a hold of crypto and make it their own, then they do fully have control, even more so than they do now.
Yeah. I mean, I do follow it because I jumped in it to make some NFTs out of our art, and it's definitely it's interesting how the news cycle goes with it. And the central banks, you're right, they are so like just chomping at the bit to take control of that whole game. But I watched this really informational video about the blockchain, and these ladies went to this blockchain conference, and it was actually not even about cryptocurrency at all. It was about school records being on blockchain in Texas, in the public schools in Texas. And the real application behind this technology is it's called a digital twin. And it's all part of being having a digital representation of yourself that it is controlled and manipulated through the social credit score systems that actually controls your real physical access to opportunities and resources.
Yeah, it sounds scary as fuck.
Yeah.
I just don't see anything good coming from that. I mean, and whether or not people believe in things that are in the Bible or not, I mean, it talks about the mark being in your forehead and also being in your right hand. And now people are doing this quick scan with their palms and shit like that. And then we're talking about Neuralink, which is going into people's head, which ties right into that Agenda 2045 that I brought up earlier. It's just they're totally ushering in what they want. And the people that are supposed to be giving the pushback, I just don't see the pushback happening. Like there's people on my side, that still rock that 17, and it just feels a lot like they're being pacified with these small wins that aren't actually wins in the overall fucking game. It's like these tiny little wins that don't do much to help us now or for the future in that matter. I don't know. Did I lose you guys again?
No.
No, not at all. No, I was actually thinking about. Yeah, I think it's funny. And it has nothing to do with like even conspiracy shit. It's funny how like I even think like the media and the news and the government. It's like they'll hold these conferences and it's like, you know, you'll get Ted Cruz like fucking like tearing Fauci apart or some other guy, and it's like, all right, but what's gonna happen? Nothing. Like a lot, like they always put this shit out, but nothing ever fucking happens. And then then you have AOC on the other side, you know, they're coming up with crazy ideas, going on rants about shit that just gets people stirred up, and nothing ever happens. She never does anything. She's done nothing in office.
Never lie.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, like I even feel like, I mean, we get that a lot, even just from our own government and the news and the media. You know, making you think like, oh yeah, like that actually, oh yeah, we got to win. I mean, no, not really, because nothing's being done about it. It's basically like the person just admitted, yeah, I fucked you off, and nothing's being done. That's even worse. I mean, that's just like even the whole thing with Trump right now. I'm sorry that the feds actually found something of proof. The nigga would be in jail right now. I can tell you right now, when the feds raided my fucking house and had proof of me doing something illegal, they did not say we're coming back in a few months. I went to jail. All right? When the feds show up, if they find something illegal and you're fucked, you're going to jail. The dude would be in jail already. This is all a bunch of fucking theater to just get people riled up.
So division. Yeah.
So you don't think they're going to indict him with anything?
No. I mean, or if they do, it's just like they just spazzing out the right. I mean, you know, it's only. Well, but I really know. I honestly don't think so.
I think they're trying to incite something from the right now. So I think that's their whole mission with these drag queen hours strategically placed in the cities and towns that they're being placed in. They're putting them right in the middle of these right-wing areas. Not only that, but you have, you got Biden out there sowing more division than any other president I've ever heard in a speech.
Yeah, that was some.
And then right on top of it, you just have all these evil elite people out there getting away with shit right in the open, right? I mean, we had Maxwell that nobody's even talking about anymore. Basically gets off with a slap of the wrist for trafficking these kids, but yet the list doesn't come out of who were these clients, who were her clients, who was she trafficking the kids to? Like, why aren't we seeing that? So that's not a fucking win. Like all these things that we're chalking up to as wins, they're not wins. They're not. I don't see how anything is changing them. What we have a new movie that came out. I tried to log in to watch it. It's called My Son Hunter. Looks fucking fantastic, but I think you have to pay to watch it. So I'll wait till they put it on the Patriot Podcast Network.
Nice. Or if it's on Pirate Bay.
I just see more divisions though than ever before. And this is the president that was so-called supposed to bring back and unite the nation. And he's basically giving speeches mocking us with this fucking background. Are you kidding me? You were legit had that background. Like what person in PR thought that was a fucking fantastic idea to make it look like the entrance to the gates of hell with Biden sitting right there going, it's all MAGA.
I mean, actually, I think the PR person is pretty genius because I think that they're getting a lot of the effect that they want. They want the division, they want the excitement, they want the right screaming about what that looks like, and they want the left defending what it looks like without doing exactly what the right hates about what the left does. Which is just gaslight. There's no conversation to be had.
I do think, like what you mentioned, Catalyst, I also do think, no, I really don't think, my opinion, I don't think Trump's going to go to jail, but I do think this situation is being used to make his fans or, people that support him as, fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to incite violence somewhere, and it's going to be people dressed up as Q or MAGA. I guarantee.
Mhm.
And then
Oh, it'll be like January 6th all
Uh-huh.
over again.
yeah, except this time they're not gonna hesitate. They're gonna bring in the National Guard. They're gonna call for fucking martial law. They're going to totally use that to start bringing in these camps. And I don't know, these are some things that are going on in the real world. And when you try to break off and you're like, okay, just like live in my spirituality, be one with me, and then you have all these crazy things that are actually really happening, or are they? I don't know. This is just the reality that I know. I never see my neighbors bringing groceries, by the way. So
Gotta go out and re-register as a Democrat, but just vote Republican. So when they come around and start picking people up, you won't be on the list. It's funny. Before the last election, one of my boys actually did that. He registered as a Democrat but voted for Trump because he's like, yo, if they fucking come after people like the fucking Nazis did, he's like, I'm not going to be on that list. I was like, damn, you thought about that? Fuck.
Yeah.
But,
hey,
I mean,
the thought crossed my mind too. I think I'm registered as an independent, actually. But I mean, I do what I do. There's no hiding.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if they really wanted to look into it, I mean, they'd know anyway.
I decided today that I'm going to start working on a documentary about somebody in the truther movement who I know, who actually committed suicide. And there's a lot of conspiracies going on whether he was Hillaried or not. And everybody was putting those theories to bed right away as soon as it came out, because we're like, yo, you know, like,
yeah, talking about
we knew him. Like, we knew him.
You knew the kid?
You know what I mean? But like, there's a couple people that are bringing up some documents and sending them to me, and there's questions that need to be asked. And you know, if it was me that had died, I would hope people would be asking these questions. And we don't take the mainstream narrative, so why the fuck are we going to take it this time?
Was this kid's first name Matthew?
No.
All right. Maybe you're talking about Matthew North.
No, he had a successful podcast as well, and some other stuff going on. And most of the people listening know who I'm talking about. But yeah, I kind of think I should make this documentary, and I'm gonna have to talk to some people, obviously, that were close to him, and make sure that it's okay. But I think that there's a lot of things that need to be said about him, and I'll get it to light, and a lot of questions that people have. Maybe there's some valid questions there that need to be answered. So you heard me say it right here. I think I'm gonna put together a documentary and bring some of those things to the light, and interview people that were close to him, and what might have really happened with it. And there was definitely a lot of people out there that wanted him silenced. So
I think that sounds badass. I would love to see a documentary about
it. That sucked, though. I mean, it sucks either way. If it was suicide or something else, it's horrible.
Yeah, it does suck. It's just it was one of those things that when it hit the community, it's like, wait, what the fuck? He was just on my show, and like, you know, and then you have like people that are talk to him every day. And I was actually in the middle of doing an intro video for a show, and one of the people that's on the show was like really close to him, and he was all in a hurry to get this changes made to this intro because they were going on that day. And then all of a sudden I get a text like, yo, not going on today, don't worry about it. And that's when he found out, and so he didn't end up doing his show that day and shit. And they were really fucking close. So like, when everybody was coming out with the conspiracies, like, because he was speaking out, he it's and so he met Sisolak, in a restaurant, and was like, yo, you're Sisolak, aren't you? And the guy's like, yeah. And he's like, oh man, and let me get a picture. And he puts his arm around him. He goes, I can't begin to tell you what a fucking piece of shit you are. And then he goes off. He goes, you know, you're a fucking traitor. You selling us up the river to China. You work for China. You want one world piece of shit. You know what happens to traitors? We hang them up and shit like that. And followed this guy out to his car. And So it started with that. They were harassing him for that shit. Then he said he was going to run for sheriff of Nevada and fucking go after all the millions of dollars that got swept under the rug during this like huge drug deal bust that people died for and over. And there's this money missing. Nobody wants to touch it. And so he was like all over the news, like, and yeah, there's definitely reasons why they would want him to shut up. He had a podcast where he talked about this shit all the time too.
Damn. Yo, he made the news?
Oh, big time. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah, they were calling him a racist because Sisolak's wife is Asian. And so when he said you're working for China, apparently that's racist because his wife is of Asian descent.
Wow.
Can't name who people are working for if their wives come from that same background. Apparently that is racist. You're not allowed to do that.
Wow. Holy fuck. Can't make this shit up.
Reminds me of the guy in Forest Meadows.
Yeah, that's crazy that was brought up recently on what I think it might have been my latest episode. This guy, so New York Patriot, this is crazy because I had on Sean from Con Men podcast, and they did a 4-part series on Epstein, and goes back to Hoover and the players back then before Epstein was even of age of diddling people the age he wasn't even of yet. And and so this guy comes on
diddling,
and somehow 9/11 comes up, and he's talking about this author and this guy that used to be a pilot who actually lived a few doors down from me. And the funny thing is, he's like, have you heard of this guy? And I'm like, oh, probably, I don't know, refresh my memory. And he starts talking about this guy and how he supposedly killed himself and killed his son, his daughter, and the family dog. And as soon as he said that, I was like, oh shit, that was like 2 doors down the street from me.
Yeah.
Like, so this actually happened right down the street from me, where this guy, he was writing a book and he had ties to the CIA, and he wrote a couple books already. And this last one was about 9/11, and they offed him. And then they cleaned up the room and everything before the sheriffs got there. We heard no gunshots. The sheriffs came back later, a couple days later, and ran tests where they were shooting inside the house. We heard them all. Like, so it was just a lot of weird shit going on with this guy's death. I can't think of his name right now, but the shit was crazy. And it was just weird. This guy brought this up during the episode last week, and I was like, oh yeah, that was right down the street.
The sheriff's department was real hush-hush about it because some people that, like you, live nearby, people who knew the guy personally, they're starting to talk in the community, being like, this is not the way this shit went down. And the sheriff told him, man, you start talking that shit, you're gonna have big trouble in this event.
Yeah, and a lot of people were talking about what his work was too when he was writing this book. And Calaveras County, there's a lot of bored people, so it breeds conspiracy theorists already.
Definitely cult shit going on.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, all right, man. I really hope that this recorded better than it came off on my end. New York Patriot, man, you are fucking dope. You got your show going. You got the Occult Rejects going. I see you're fully back on the gram.
Oh, yeah. It came back. Yes. Yeah. I think it did actually work a little bit.
Yeah. Were you able to?
At first, I was like, oh, fuck, this didn't help. But I have noticed, unless people just like the things I'm posting better now, I do seem to be getting a lot more interaction than I was.
Good. People have to actually be able to see what you're posting in order to like it. So I've come across that becomes an issue sometimes. But yeah, man, I thought I beat it for a while. They had me on the 90-day restriction, and I'm like, I couldn't go live or anything like that. And then they let me go live. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll start doing my live show twice a week on Instagram. And then a few days ago, they hit me with something about violence, because there was a video of this lady kept stepping in front of the skateboarder every time he was crouching down to hit this trick on a ledge and making him almost eat shit. And I was like, man, when I was in high school one time, I took my trucks to somebody's head for doing the same shit. And they fucking got me for violence, and they fucking took over my page for a half an hour. I couldn't log in and do anything with it, but people could see it. And it was like, and then all of a sudden it gave me access back to my fucking account, and now I can't go live again.
What were you using to go Yellow Duck?
I don't know what the fuck was just said.
I said, what did you use to go live? Yellow Duck?
It was
on
just
Instagram.
Just on Instagram. You just slide your screen over to the right, and it gives you the option to hit live.
Oh. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because I got the roadcaster like hooked up into it. So
Man, I feel like back in the
Oh, okay. All right. I see how you do that now. I never thought of doing that. I could do it through the phone with the roadcaster.
Yeah, as long as you have one of these auxiliary cords, but it has to have 3 lines on it. If you have one of these pieces and only has 2 or 1 line on it, it's not gonna work.
Gotcha. Good to know.
Jeremy,
Yeah,
are
because
you
I know
there, brother?
Nah.
Okay, because you said something about something.
Man,
What the
dude,
hell you
it's just all this censorship. Like, I don't know. Like, I think back like 10, 20 years ago, and I can't believe they get away with what they do. I mean, I guess I can believe it, but it's hard. I don't feel like people would be buying into it back then.
No, not at all.
It definitely sucks, but their whole thing is to try to wear us out and make us quit doing what we're doing. So every time they censor me or I like go on, I'm like, yes, I'm starting to hit triple digits in my stories again. The next day I'll go on, it'll be like 30 people. I'm like, I hit 30 people. All right, maybe they're gonna tell a couple of those people will tell people, like maybe I fucking was the catalyst at something today that triggered some sort of thought that made them dive down a hole. I mean, as long as I hit one person a day, they can keep censoring me all they fucking want. I'm gonna keep going.
Oh yeah.
There you go. So a lot of people even bust my chops for having a YouTube account. What the fuck are you doing on YouTube? They suck. Well, it also sucks because everybody gives up after they get banned once. I made another one. Fuck them. Yeah. Oh, fuck it. I'll be the one voice of opposition of all the bullshit on there. Fuck Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you give up, that's how those fucking platforms get flooded with the bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, at some point, it's like we shouldn't give up either. I don't know.
No, we're not giving up. We're on our 3rd YouTube account right now, and it's starting to pick up traction. So I'm sure they'll nuke it eventually. But hey, we're there. We're on Rumble. I hear they just fucking nuked this soldier's video who I was trying to share it with some people, and they asked me to send it again. That shit's gone. So now Rumble's fucking with people. So
I've had Rumble and BitChute both take shit down on me.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? So we're getting hit from all fucking angles, but it is where the battlefield is, and it is an information fucking warfare out there. So keep loading up your gun with as much ammunition as you can, and by ammunition I mean facts, real facts, and thought provocative things, and shoot them away as much as you can and see what people come back with. And I gotta tell you guys, like, if you listen to the show, that shit is not what we're being told it is. And whether the earth is flat, round, hollow, or fucking triangular, at the end of the day, man, it's not what they're telling us, and nothing is what they're telling us. So ask questions, question everything, and keep digging down those rabbit holes. Everybody, please plug your shit once again, because it was fucking up on my end, so I didn't hear your plug. So please, we'll go around the horn, starting with you, New York Patriot. Please plug away.
Oh, thank you. I have, the New York Patriot Show. It's on all major podcasts. It's also on BitChute, Rumble, I have the Occult Rejects, and that is on the same thing, BitChute, Rumble, all major podcasts. And then we do have our YouTube, which is Tor and More. There is another one with that name. I never would have thought. I didn't even check. Never would have thought there would have been another Tor and More. But I mean, ours has like kind of like the Tree of Life in it. I mean, you'd see it. That has me, Lux's, and the Occult Rejects all on there. So yeah, that's an easy way to find us.
Right on, brother. Right on. Hopefully we can bring some traffic your way. And if you guys don't know, go check out cosmicfractalmagnitudes.com and enter promo code RABBIT, and you'll find all the dopest art there by our boy, none other than J. Amba Fosad in the building. He's wearing some of his product right there. So if you guys are watching the video, you can definitely check that out. Go on the website. It's not only shit that you can wear, it's shit you can hang on your walls. Art is beautiful, and beautiful is art. So go check out cosmicfractalmagnitudes.com. Enter promo code RABBIT. You'll receive up to 13% off. My boy Jeremy, how do you feel about your first episode on White Rabbit?
This is awesome. When you told me that we were going to be on with New York Patriot tonight, I was so excited, man. I don't know. I felt like it was going to be an opportunity to get to talk to somebody who actually knows a lot about stuff I'm really interested in. And so it was a real pleasure tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, you'll find me on social media.
Thank you.
Have any questions? Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. And we're going to get you a microphone and shit as soon as we can. So these conversations, when we have people on here excited about like the New York Patriot here, we won't have these technical difficulties in the next time. But it was a banger of a show. I feel like it's got a lot of fun shit out there, and people are going to question some things, I hope. So ladies and gentlemen, fellow truthers and conspiracy junkies, you know what time it is. Keep digging down those rabbit holes.
Do you remember when we fell in love? I remember, don't worry. Do you remember? I remember how it all began. How could I ever forget? It's the first time. Do you remember? I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it coming in the air. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. It's coming in the air. I can feel it. They'll never know this love and how it feels. I never thought love at first sight could feel so real. They'll never know this love and how it feels. I never thought love at first sight could feel so real. How it real, how it real, feels so real.